Okay, so we just made a video yesterday talking about Blake Wheeler, the contract situation, the potential of the Winnipeg Jets trading this guy away because he might not be the guy that they really need the most right now. We talked in that video that if Blake Wheeler was to be traded, you could use a lot of that extra cap space to re-sign Pierre-Luc Dubois and make sure that he sticks around because you traded away Laine for this player, you traded away Roslovic for this player too, and Dubois has been one of the better two-way forwards, shutdown guys in the NHL the past few years. He's only 24 years old. He was drafted 3rd overall in 2016, so he's got a lot of potential heading into the long-term future. After things really soured in Columbus with his attitude and how he was perceived as being a part of the community, there were some people going out there and saying, okay, Pierre-Luc Dubois was a guy that pretty much did not want to play in Columbus. You kind of saw that after a few years. And so if he's going from Columbus to Winnipeg, firstly, from an environmental perspective, from a quality of life perspective, disregard the hockey team, disregard the lines, and disregard the coaching. Going from Columbus to Winnipeg, you could debate is not really all too much of an upgrade when it comes to living in a cool place. No disrespect to all you Winnipeggers that are checking out this YouTube channel, but Winnipeg is not LA. Winnipeg is not New York. Winnipeg is not, I don't know, Florida, for example. And so, going from Columbus to Winnipeg was an interesting idea, plus the fact that he went for Patrik Laine, etc., but you saw Pierre-Luc Dubois make an impact with this Jets team in a way that a lot of Jets fans kind of liked. Sure, in his first season he only had 20 points in half the season, which wasn't great, but this previous year he definitely did improve. 60 points, 28 goals, 81 games played, 106 penalty minutes, and a -6. Pierre-Luc Dubois, for all intents and purposes, was pretty good. But now, he is indeed an RFA that needs a new contract, and things got really interesting when you had word from NHL insiders earlier this week that the idea of trading away Wheeler to free up some salary and re-sign Dubois to a longer-term deal, maybe that idea is not all too realistic as we thought it would be. Here's why. Elliotte Friedman said during the intermission between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche that Pierre-Luc Dubois has informed the Winnipeg Jets that his current plan is to test UFA status when he is eligible in 2024. The Jets wish to keep him in Winnipeg for a long time. Now, I really wanted to let this sink in just a little bit. Pierre-Luc Dubois is a top-tier young guy. He was a top-tier prospect. He was drafted 3rd overall. He made the team, and he was really good, and he was all these things. He was good defensively. He was really solid in his own zone, two-way ability, etc., etc., and he produced points. He had 60 points in 81 games. That is great, especially as a 24-year-old, but he's a guy that has had some attitude issues when it comes to how he was treated in Columbus, and even going as far back to his junior days when he was taken by the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles in the QMJHL draft. There are some people that are more well-tuned to that story than I am, but back in the day, in the QMJHL times of 2016-17, Pierre-Luc Dubois didn't want to play for Cape Breton anymore, and he demanded a trade. It was so public to the point that his trade value actually decreased, and it allowed the Blainville-Boisbriand Armada to take him on for what you could probably say was a cheaper price. A similar thing to this happened before, and now he's an NHL athlete who is already in the middle of an RFA negotiation, I guess we would assume, and he's telling his hockey team, hey, I want to be a free agent in 2024. Like, what? Firstly, who says that to your team? Like, you're in the middle of a negotiation, you're trying to say all the right things, make sure you're getting as much money as possible, but before you put the pen to the dotted line, you tell your team, hey guys, just so you know, I don't want to play for you guys long term. Secondly, 2024 is in 2 years. There is a lot that can go on for a hockey team in 2 seasons. Might I remind you that the Colorado Avalanche have been one of the better teams in the NHL for a long time, but in 2016-17, guess what? They were dead last. That's why they got Cale Makar in the draft. Now, sure, having all the other pieces, Landeskog, Ronson, and McKinnon, it helps you out for sure, but the point is, things can turn around quickly. Now, I know yesterday in the Blake Wheeler video, we specifically said that the Winnipeg Jets had a few really good years to go out there and actually contend, but play-in series losses to Calgary, sweeps at the hands of the Canadiens, stuff like that, it wasn't really all too great when you watch this team in the postseason because of the inconsistencies and the heart, etc., etc. Paul Maurice didn't really do the team any favors in the playoffs here. And maybe that could be one of the reasons why PLD is saying, yeah, no, I don't want to stay in Winnipeg. But to be so concrete about it now, in 2022, when 2024 is so long into the future, it just kind of rubs you the wrong way, especially when you acknowledge the history that this guy has had when it comes to not wanting to be a part of organizations in the past. In the QMJHL, it happened. In the Columbus Blue Jacket system, it happened. Now it's happening again in Winnipeg. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he is a good enough player to demand a certain amount of money on the market, should he make the market, etc. But, like, there's a personality aspect to this entire thing that I feel has gone sort of under the radar up to this point. I could understand not wanting to play for a hockey team, and I can understand being frustrated in your position. But with Pierre-Luc Dubois, this is the third time it's happened, so what does that say about this guy? I know he's a good enough player to maybe be a top-line center on a bad team or a top-6 center on a pretty good team, but this type of behavior is not it, bro. I especially feel bad for a lot of the Winnipeggers that have to watch this video and listen to the news about PLD not wanting to stick around and being like, hey, we can never get guys that want to stick around here in Winnipeg. Like, this is pretty much a trade request, isn't it? Like, you don't go out there and you say something like that and not expect the gears to be turning. And how this relates to the RFA negotiations, I mean, firstly, the Winnipeg Jets are not going to be able to sign Dubois to a long-term deal anymore if he's really saying, yeah, no, I want to be a free agent. You're going to sign him for 2 years, he's going to expire in 2024, and he's going to go to the market. That's the plan, right? But in a way, this also acts as a huge catalyst for the Jets to start thinking about trading this guy away again. Because if you don't, then what's going to happen when you sign Dubois to a 2-year deal, he comes and plays with your team for the next 2 seasons, and he's skating with teammates on lines with other players and all know that he wants out. You essentially sabotage your relationship not just with the team, the fan base, but the players as well by going out there and telling them that. And I don't doubt Elliot Friedman and his sources, like, come on, this guy is like one of the top analysts and media insiders in the entire NHL world, so if it comes from him, it's likely to be true, right? So, I don't know. Winnipeg Jets fans, you talked to me in the comments a lot yesterday about Blake Wheeler and the potential trade situation going on there. But with PLD entering the mix too, how does that change your opinion? There were already discussions going on about a lot of drama with the Winnipeg Jets earlier on in the season with Mark Scheifele and Paul Stastny and Scheifele's work ethic and Blake Wheeler trades and everything, but now PLD is back, mainstay, front and center, in the spotlight, and I'm kind of questioning where you go from here. So, talk in the comments all your thoughts about PLD. Are you just frustrated? Like, are you ticked off that a guy acts like this? Are you ticked off that this is the third time now that he's said that he doesn't want to play for a team, essentially, and that he wants out, and that he's demanding his hand that getting moved, or he's saying, hey, I want to go somewhere else, so I'm going to test free agency and UFA status in 2024, which is 2 years removed from now, by the way. If you keep this guy around, let's just say there isn't a trade made, you sign into a contract, how happy are you going to be with that decision? How happy are you going to be knowing that this guy has already expressed his desire to leave, yet you're seeing him put up 60 points a year on your team? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Rolls 99, and bye.